This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, talk, inspiration, and prayer. Listen to my show every Monday from 11 to 12 on KWWJ 1360 AM, KYOK 1140 AM, KCOH at 1230 KCOH.com, St. Radio at 95.1 FM, 1460 AM, and Latino Sports, KEYH 850 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then. All right, Houston, Harris County, it's me, Gilbert Garcia, with another tip from me, talk, inspiration, and prayer. So much to talk about today, and I have such a great guest. But we're going to talk a little bit about Metro. We're going to talk a little bit about the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks, an amazing story. I saw the movie last night with my wife, and it really just touched me. And then, of course, I want to talk about the great work that Rodney Ellis is doing related to the whole approved plan to address the shocking 29% pay gap at Harris County. And we're going to talk about all of these things and more. But the most important thing is tomorrow is Election Day. And you remember, for some of us, that's like Christmas. And so I have Mr. Isaiah Martin here. Isaiah, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and of course, Isaiah is a candidate for CD 18 running for Congress. And let me say, first of all, as someone who ran before, because I did, everybody knows I ran for mayor, I always admire anyone who steps in and puts himself out there and really gets to learn the district and travel far and wide. I really admire anyone to do that. So I admire you, my friend, to do that.
Thank you so much. I
and
appreciate that.
And let me ask you this. So you've been, you know that song by Johnny Cash? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Yes,
I mean, you've been to this, I mean, you've been everywhere, right?
That's right.
I mean,
really.
I mean, tell me what you've learned. I mean, you worked for Sheila Jackson Lee,
right,
the amazing Sheila Jackson Lee. But what's it like now as a candidate? And what have you learned, number one, about being a candidate, and number two, about the district?
Well, for one, I will say I understand a lot of the things she made me do a lot better. Mm-hmm. Because I understand it's like a method to pretty much everything. So it's really been pretty inspiring. And to be honest with you, you know, traveling around the district has been so much fun because I've gone everywhere, like you said.
Yeah,
I've
you've been everywhere.
Football games.
Yep.
Political events, bars, clubs, whatever it is, I go everywhere. And people are just really frustrated by the state of the country. They really want to see change. And so, look, I've just really learned that, you know, at this moment, people want authenticity, folks that just speak very plainly and honestly. And I think that's reflected in our campaign, and we look forward to Election Day.
Well, you know, you were one that I'm going to say things. If I say anything wrong or anything, just correct me, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything. At the end of the day, I think you were one that has really risen. I don't want to say out of nowhere because you've worked hard, but you really were, I think, sort of, people thought, well, you know, he's a great guy, but can he raise the money, this and that? And you proved everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Because you've raised a lot of money.
That's true.
From a lot of people, not
That's
just
right.
like, you know, big checks, but a lot of people. And you've worked hard, and now I think, you know, it's going to be close.
I know.
How much now? So how much have you raised? Did you cross $1 million?
We're about 1.6 million.
That's what I
right
thought.
Now. Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the top fundraisers of the whole CD8 team.
That's right.
And if you have this stat, it'd be fun to say, but if you don't have it, that's okay. What's the number of donations or the average size? Do you have any of those sorts of stats?
So I think we're about 55,000 donations, an average of $19 a person.
Come on.
Is about where we're at. Yeah.
Come
crazy.
on.
We're going to finish, I think, the top fundraiser in the race.
How does that make you feel?
It's insane.
Doesn't that feel like, my goodness, that means your message is resonating.
Yeah. It's crazy, honestly, because, you know, running for Congress, you know, every candidate always said you need so much, you know, dollars to actually be able to go and run for something like this. I had no idea how I was going to get it.
Right.
And, you know, social media has really been just an amazing thing for us and has been able to power our campaign. And
well,
I
think I want to come back to social media because it seems to me, and if I'm wrong, I'm totally wrong, that you've been the best candidate at social media. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've it effectively. I mean, what's the secret?
Just being honest. I mean, look, over the last month, 30 days, we were at about 110 million impressions up across all of our accounts.
Come on.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, but I always say I don't do anything special. I just really just am very honest when I talk to folks. I don't try to be something that I'm not. I'm not doing TikTok dances and stuff like that. I just talk to people directly, and people resonate with it.
Well, it has been amazing, and there's so many things we're going to cover. But we have a caller already.
Oh,
amazing. It is Representative Ron Reynolds.
Oh.
Representative, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm so glad you.
Pre-election day.
Well, you know what? For someone like you, it's just like Christmas, and me. And I mean, you know what I mean? What I mean by that is, it's exciting, and you're not going to be able to sleep tonight, and you're going to get up early. It's kind of like when we were little. You get up early to go see the presents. You're going to get. I mean, Isaiah's not going to sleep. He's going to wake up early.
No,
he's going to go hit the polls. I mean, that's what I mean. It's like Christmas, and there's all this euphoria, and then there comes the right after, win or lose. It's all about, I got to take a breath now, you know. But Representative, what is going on with you these days, and what do you think about the turnout? Because it's been disappointing, and it's not just for the candidates, and they're all working hard. Isaiah in particular is working hard, but they all are.
That's right. They all are.
It seems that I don't know when I say the people are not responding, but certainly the votes are not there, at least not yet. But it's not just CD18. It seems to be all over. What's your tea leaves there?
Well, Gilbert, first of all, good morning. It's great to be on your show, and certainly, Isaiah, good to hear your voice. I am very troubled. I am very concerned, Gilbert, about the voter turnout so far as early vote ended on Friday. There's not just the very important 18th congressional seat race, but the city of Houston special election. There is HISD. There's Houston City College, formerly Houston Community College. There are 17 constitutional amendments that impact everyone, no matter if you have anything else on your ballot or not. But we see very little light. It's very, very light turnout. I think there's a concern. There's voter apathy. And it's not because we don't have great, exciting candidates. And Tanisha Husbands is doing a hell of a job in terms of getting out the vote, in terms of PSAs. But it's certainly something that we see that is opposite of what we've seen in New York right now, where there's a large turnout for the mayoral race in New York. We're seeing just the opposite here. We're seeing a very light turnout. So I think we need to continue to do everything we can to sound the alarm bells of why elections matter. There seems to be great voter apathy. People are just not engaged. People are feeling bewildered and deflated, and they're staying at home. We need them this is the time that they need to be rushing to the polls, because we need leadership, transformational leadership, to get us through these tough times. So the reason why I called your show right now was because I wanted to let the people know that, especially the people who are frustrated, many African Americans, Latinos, people who have been laid off, people who have been impacted by the government shutdown, people who have been impacted by the executive orders from Trump on the anti-DEI. You especially need to be voting. If you're concerned about your SNAP benefits, if you're concerned about health care, if you're concerned about these ICE raids, then you need to go and vote and bring someone with you. So everything is on the ballot. Elections matter. We can't sit this one out. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is an important election that will impact families. So thank you, Gilbert, for having this platform to let the listeners know this is not one we sit out. This is one we go out and vote.
Well, listen, I so appreciate it. Don't leave just yet, because I have a theory, but let me test it on Isaiah here, which is, I think in CD18, look, and I'd like to think I'm a informed voter, you know, I'm educated voter, all those things, but you know what? I'm confused.
Yeah.
I am confused in this CD18. I'm confused about, you know, there's lawsuits from the previous redrawing of the map, and now there's going to be more lawsuits. And then there's a race now, and then more than likely, no offense to my guest here or anybody else, more than likely, just because of the sheer number of candidates, there's going to be a runoff, and and then there's going to be maybe a primary here for another election here, probably in March. I mean, right. I'm confused. I think the people are confused. I mean, Isaiah, am I confused or about what's really happening? But It seems to me that's a large part of it. People are just stunned
That's right.
at all of this.
I mean, this is a lot going on.
Yes.
I mean, like you said, there's lawsuits. The districts are changing very soon. And I think also the lack of a televised debate, I think also really hurt us in this election. The lack of the ability for folks to see and wake up to all the candidates being on television for everybody to see, I think that really did hurt us in a lot of ways. But, look, I think that's why, like the representative said, we've got to be on social media. We've got to be on shows like yours. We've got to be talking about getting out the vote because it's really important.
Representative, I hope you're still there, but,
I'm here.
how can we get the media to pay more attention, to hear with all the action in Washington and the importance of
Right.
CD18? Historically, in today's times, with the closeness of the House is not even in session. There's one or two people that haven't been sworn in. With all of this, you would think the media would say more than ever, let's get those candidates together and hear their views of what is
right.
going on. How can we get the media more involved? I mean, it's amazing to me to hear there wasn't a single television debate. I mean, Representative,
Yeah,
how can
I think that-
we pass some law or something that says they got to
Well-
put some debates on TV?
Yeah. Well, I would certainly be open for that. That's probably going to be a high bar in this climate.
Yep.
But I think Isaiah is right. I mean, it's very disappointing that the media didn't. We, as the general public, have to make those demands. Just like when they took Jimmy Kimmel off the air, it was the people's outcry that brought him back, right? Because of the market share and the loss of viewership. We have to demand and make our voices heard as a collective voice to say, hey, media, this is something that we want to see, and we all maybe have a petition in the future that we send out, because the media they listen to the viewers and the people, because that impacts their bottom line. Because if people aren't watching, then they lose market share, they lose the ability to charge astronomical amounts for these commercials and through sponsorship. So it's all trickles down. So we have to be engaged and demand it. We can't just talk about it, in isolation. We have to show strength and solidarity. It says, hey, this is something that we're interested in. This is something that we believe is a great public interest. And while we may not be able to legislate it, Gilbert, we can demand it from a standpoint of this is a matter of great public significant interest, and therefore we will say we will boycott your station if you don't air a televised debate. So I think that we have to take collective responsibility, Gilbert, and use our people power and build that synergy to demand it. That is the only way I think it's going to happen, if we as a people say, you know what, we want this to happen, and we're going to demand it happens, just like we do when we are outraged by something. And young people, Isaiah, when I looked at the demographics, young people have stayed at home. We need to impress upon young people that this is a critical election that will impact them tremendously, and therefore young people need to be running to the polls just as much as anybody else. So that is something, Gilbert, we are going to have to all take a role in doing, and someone has to lead, maybe a petition or a social media effort or whatever it is, to get the media's attention to let them know we care about this. We want to see it. That, I think if we did that collectively with some numbers, I think we'll see them acquiesce to do it.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I just had an idea. So, Houston, Harris County, I'm going to be at the next show, because I wasn't prepared. I'm going to have the phone number for the station managers of all the major networks. And I'm going to show the number up, and I'm going to ask all of y'all to ask them to have a televised debate of the runoff.
Yes.
And so
There you go, Gilbert.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And so
Gilbert,
go ahead.
I'm gonna amplify it. So it just
Me
takes
too.
one catalyst for change, Gilbert, and you've been that. I was just bragging last night to Commissioner Ellis. He told me y'all recently spoke. We were just bragging about you, man, and how much we appreciate you, how much of a blessing you are to Harris County and the state of Texas. So thank you for always taking the bull by the horn and showing what leadership looks like in action. It's not just rhetoric and words, but it's action. and it is only through action are we going to be able to get things done. So yes, Gilbert, I will certainly look forward to amplifying that through my platforms. Even though we didn't get it done before this general election, we can certainly demand it and put it in place for the runoff, because there certainly likely will be a runoff. And here's the thing about the runoff: people should know it's not going to be in December when the likely runoff for the city of Houston and other races will be in December. The runoff, because Governor Abbott has the discretion, will likely be late January, early February. As crazy as that might sound, that is realistically what we believe Governor Abbott will do, because Governor Abbott put this election as far away from Turner's death as he could. We believe that he will push the runoff as far away as he can towards the deadline, so that Democrats will have one less seat in Congress, because he's trying to carry Trump's water. That, Gilbert, is sad. That is not a statesman. That is a partisan hack. And it is unfortunate that Governor Abbott is beholden to President Trump and keeping the constituents of the 18th Congressional District without representation for as long as he has, and likely that'll continue through late January, early February, possibly.
Boy, it's going to be
It cause more confusion.
Yeah.
It cause more confusion because early voting will likely be starting for the new lines, unless the court strikes it down in mid-February. So it adds more another layer of confusion. Confusion leads to voter apathy, unfortunately.
Well, Representative Reynolds, thank you for calling in. Call in anytime, my friend, and thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, Isaiah, keep up the great work, my friend. And Gilbert, as always, it's an honor to be on. Have
Thank
a
you,
blessed
my
day,
friend.
guys.
Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
You know, Isaiah, just listen to the representative. Just all those iterations, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
You know what? And
Yeah.
so, let me just, I'm gonna be a little bold if I could. So when you make the runoff, are you saying that you'll join me and you will participate in a televised debate?
Absolutely,
There you
100%.
go. That's what we want to hear.
Yes.
And you know what? And all the candidates should say that.
Yes.
Because who doesn't want people to know their positions? When I was running for mayor, I loved debates.
Me too.
I mean, I loved them. I loved them. Well, let's come back for a second, because I guess I didn't realize the runoff will be somewhere in the new year. That is so close to the primary for the seat.
That's right.
Golly.
It makes it incredibly hard because effectively you are campaigning in two different districts at the exact same time.
In many ways, and I'm not trying to put ideas in your mind
Yeah.
at all, but it seems to me a lot of the candidates running, if someone doesn't make it the runoff, because they're already kind of like been in the zone of running, they may run again.
right.
And I look at that and I say, well, if I probably would, because I'm already going, I already have my list, people already like me, I did pretty well, blah blah blah. I mean, it makes perfect sense. We have a caller on the line though. Is it Junior? Junior, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can. It's Gilbert Garcia with a tip for me with Isaiah Martin, candidate for CD18. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, I hope I'm not out of the loop. When she put me on hold, I missed half of what you guys was saying till she finally put me.
Oh, doggone it.
No problem. Let's have a real conversation.
Go.
Okay, the question, a lot of people are saying there's voter apathy, a lot of people not getting out the vote. It's just no enthusiasm. And let's just put it like this, Gilbert and Isaiah. If you was a government worker going to work every day and you're not getting paid, would you be fired up about going to vote? If you on SNAP, you and your kids are about to get shut off from SNAP, you're not going to get no benefits from SNAP, would you be excited about voting? But the people that's coming on here with these doggone pep talks, these pep rallies, and I ain't jugging at nobody, man, but we got to have real conversation, man. People are tired of the pep talks. We want some action being done, because of the people that's fighting Republicans and Democrats, they getting paid. They living a good life, but the people that's struggling, they not getting paid, which are the voters.
Well,
So maybe that's one reason a lot of people just not excited about the voting because we tired of getting pimped. I'm listening.
Well, don't leave. Don't leave. I know you're listening, but
Not
don't leave
leaving?
because I'm going to get Isaiah on. But I'm going to throw one more out there, and let's let our candidate respond because one of my colleagues, partners, and another colleague of mine are at the airport, and they're trying to go out of town. I forgot what city they're trying to go to, and they showed a picture to me of the line just to get through security. And it goes
Right.
all the way out Bush, all the way outside, like almost around. And I thought, holy cow, you got to go like a couple of hours early. And then I had another colleague that was trying to get back from 2 days ago from out of town. And are you ready for this? She was on the tarmac for 2.5 hours waiting in the plane.
That's terrible.
And then they went ahead and just said, we're not taking off.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So, you get that feeling and you just get frustrated. But Isaiah, what say you about it all?
Well, first off, I would say that you're 100% right because you're getting screwed. Everybody's getting screwed right now. I mean, you see what's going on with government workers. You see what's going on with SNAP. You see that that red states are gerrymandering out Democrats. It seems as if nobody's doing anything about it. Corruption runs left and right. I get it. But the thing that I think is very important here is that it can and will get worse if we do nothing. If we don't do anything and we don't stand up, we don't get people in there that can work to fix a lot of these issues, it's going to get worse. So that's why I've always talked about why blue states need to be a lot more aggressive. We're in a red state right now, but blue states have got to fight back. That's why I support what Gavin Newsom is doing in California to draw Republicans out of their seats because they just took 5 seats from us here in Texas. That's why in Congress I will be a brick wall against any of these cuts to SNAP, to Social Security, to Medicare, to Medicaid. We need another no vote because what's happening right now, the Republicans are getting pressured beyond belief, and we cannot have somebody in this seat that's willing to bend the knee and waver. I will not be someone that bends the knee because we've got to be a lot more aggressive against these guys. I get and understand exactly how you're feeling right now, but we got to stand up and do better.
Junior, what say you, my friend? At the end of the day, I hear you. And just, airports, just everything. People trying to go to the parks, people trying to get their passport, everything. And most importantly, of course, people's paychecks. My goodness. Go ahead, Junior.
Okay, here's my point, and I'm gonna hang up and listen after I make this comment.
All right.
I appreciate what the young man is saying. But man, I'm 65 years old. You know how many politicians I've heard say the exact same thing that he said. Well, once I get in office, this gonna change, that gonna change. But nothing ever changes. We keep getting screwed. And then I heard a caller this morning, God bless him. He made this comment, Gilbert and Isaiah. He said, well, voting ain't enough. We're gonna have to do a little bit more. But damn, I thought voting was your voice. I thought voting was the part that we're supposed to do, and the politicians who we vote for supposed to take care of our needs. So I'm just saying, man, y'all wonder why a lot of people just don't care about voting because we tired of these politicians. They living good, they getting paid, but the people that's voting for them are the ones that are getting screwed. Hey, thanks, guys, for letting me talk.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for calling in. Isaiah, I can feel him, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things I said, I think it was Mayor Parker last week, and I said, you know what? We just got to get all the members of Congress in the Congress and say to them, you cannot leave. Just cannot leave till we reach an agreement, and you cannot get paid till you reach an agreement.
I agree with that.
And just make it happen.
I mean, but think about what's happened right now. Congress has been effectively canceled for 6 straight weeks.
Yeah, tell us about that because I want to make sure people are clear that it's the House side.
That's right.
Please go through that.
The Republicans in the House of Representatives have literally canceled session for 6 straight weeks. I know there's always a lot of talk about, that's just Democrats, Republicans in D.C., the usual bull jive that we normally see. That is not what's happening. What's happening is that the Republicans are literally trying to go forward and ram through cuts to your health care, which is going to raise your health care premiums left and right. And as a result of that, they don't even want to have a conversation about it. You can't even get them in a room to talk about how you're going to open up the government. They are sitting at home. I saw a picture of one of them was in Europe. You got another Republican that's in the Caribbean somewhere. They're living the good life while you are getting screwed right now. And I think that people need to know that this is not some type of typical political bargaining in D.C. This is Republicans wanting to ram through their agenda. They're going out of town. They don't even want to have a conversation because they shut down the government as it is.
My goodness. Well, I had said I was going to do this next week, but I'm going to do it right now. So these are the numbers. If you can kind of zero in on that, and again, I haven't fact checked this, but these are the stations for NBC Channel 2, 713-222-2222, ABC Channel 13, 713-666-0713, CBS Channel 11, 713-748-8888, Fox 713-479-2600. And if I could there, producer, let's get Univision and Telemundo. At the end of the day, I think you should say, if you agree with me, call them to say, let's make sure this doesn't happen in the runoff, and let's get those candidates out there so we can hear their positions, because this is not just something that affects CD18. Because the House is so close between Democrat, Republican, and so divided, this really affects all of America.
That's right.
Am I right, Isaiah?
Everybody.
It's everybody. Do we have another caller there or no? I don't recall. Okay, I just wanted to mention one thing. I saw this item, and it's from the Chronicle, and it talks about Rodney Ellis. And if you can see this here, Rodney Ellis, he says here, the article says, Harris County employees approve plan to address shocking 29% pay gap. And Isaiah, they did a study. And are ready for this? I'm just going to go into a couple of bullet points. And my listeners will hopefully appreciate this. This is straight from the Cron. Mm-hmm. Notably, Hispanic women were found to be the lowest paid Harris County employees, followed by black women. The median salary for black and Hispanic women working for Harris County median means half above, half below. So is $59,000 compared to $76,000 for white men. So white men are making 30%, almost 30% more. And why is that? No, nobody knows. But here's another one, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Here's some other things. It says, and I just quote for the Chronicle. The study reported the following additional findings. Male employees make more on average than female employees. Median salaries for black and Hispanic employees are 20% lower than those for white employees. Most employees making over 75,000 are white or Asian. More than 2/3 of the employees earning under 75,000 are black or Hispanic. I mean, isn't that interesting that here we are in the year 2025, and this could almost be an article from like 2017. 1990. 1970.
Right.
This could be from 1970.
Right. Yeah, that's absurd. And, it was shocking, I know, when I saw that headline. One of the things that I really want to work on, at least in the federal government, I support legislation following in the light of Governor Josh Shapiro and Governor Cox out of Utah to eliminate the college degree requirement for federal jobs. And the reason why that's so important to me is that there's a lot of people that go in and work their way up. Particularly, they start off at a department, and right. By the time they have 15, 20 years of experience, they can go in and work and do a lot of those senior management jobs that we know they can do. I think that we need to eliminate that requirement. Josh Shapiro has seen a lot of success with this in Pennsylvania as well as in Utah as well. And I think it would do a lot to be able to fix a lot of the disparities that we see.
I think the first thing is to have a disparity study so you can know the data.
That's right.
Until you have that, you don't have the data. And you may think something, but the data will set you free.
That's right.
So I congratulate, I think it was Commissioner Ellis that pushed for the disparity study. If he didn't, I didn't fact check that. But if he didn't, then whoever did it, thank you for that. But Rodney Ellis says it's pretty embarrassing in the third largest county in America in 2025. You got some glaring discrimination. It's hard to ignore and impossible to justify.
It's true.
It's so true. So congratulations to Harris County, because number one, you cannot fix a problem till you know it exists.
That is true.
And number two is they're now putting in a framework, so they're going to address it. So the framework will, I'm quoting the Chronicle, adopt a market-aligned pay structure for all civilian positions. I'm not sure what that means. It sounds to me like if you're category X, it should be in this range. If you're category Y, it should be this range. Adjust the salary of all civilian employees currently below the new range minimum to the minimum of the respective range. So in other words, once they figure it out, if you're category X and you're below that minimum, raise you. And then number 3, include time in position adjustments for all civilian employees. I'm not sure what that means, but at the end of the day, the key is they're going to address it. And I think that's what it's all about.
It's commendable.
Isn't it? We have another caller already. Is there a, who was it? Brother Chris. Brother Chris, it's me, Gilbert Garcia with Isaiah Martin. We're talking about lots of things. We just talked about the county, but we're really talking about Election Day. We're really talking about how hard the candidate, Isaiah, has worked, how much money he's raised, which is phenomenal, especially when you consider the average size and the number of donors, which is just staggering. But what do you have?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, my friend. What do you have for us today?
Well, thank you for taking my call, and to you and your guests, and good luck to you, brother Isaiah Martin. I want the people also be reminded, people, Isaiah and Gilbert, you're going to have some referendum amendments on the ballot tomorrow as well. They must pay close attention to those, amendments tomorrow. I think it's either 17 or 20. Those going to be just as important because they're going to also impact the people's lives here in Houston, Harris County, state of Texas. So that being said, this election is extremely important because anytime you allow children to go hungry and don't care about children and our elderly, that's a problem in itself. And for those who are not thinking about voting, just consider the children who wish they could vote, but can't. They count on you to vote for them because they walk around here with times that are hungry right now.
Yeah.
Because of the person we have in the White House and people that we have in Congress. So you take that in consideration. Yes, I'm going to vote. Come, high seas and bumblebees. I'm going to make my way to the polls. I voted earlier, mind you. But with that being said, I just want to remind the people there's going to be some amendments on the ballot. They must pay attention to those as well. They'll be extremely important.
Well, Brother Chris, stay with us for a minute because I had a very interesting question here. Go back to that Tanya Ingram. Where was that question I saw? Number one, first she said she is commended you for working in the Hispanic community.
Yes.
Because as you know, the district is a pretty sizable are Hispanics.
That's right.
And I know Sheila Jackson Lee was a great friend of the Latino community,
That's
just big time. So you obviously, everyone knows, you obviously are carrying those footsteps. But it's interesting that she said, so she gave you kudos for that. And then she said, and I'm not putting you on the spot here, but she said, is Isaiah committed to run in March, regardless of the outcome tomorrow? And maybe it's way too soon to say such a thing.
Yeah.
But I want, because, that's like, and I was a candidate before. That's like a forever ago, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's like
It's the longest 24 hours probably of my life.
That's right. I mean, you can't even imagine past tomorrow, right? But if you do know, I'm happy to give you that platform. If you're in the zone of let me get through tomorrow, I totally get it.
Well, first off, I will say I have so much love and respect for the Latino community. And, that is something that I learned with Congresswoman Jackson Lee and something that I want to continue. I also want to commit to putting a district office in the Latino side of town because I think that is long overdue. Accessibility is important. In terms of, a decision on this next one, I got to get past tomorrow to figure out how that's going to go. Because to be honest with you and give you a straight answer, I have no idea.
I totally get it. That's why I said it. It's just an interesting question. I think that really shows you. It sounds to me like people hope you do.
Yeah,
that's really what it sounds like to me.
True.
Or that's how I would interpret that question, which is, I hope you do.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have more numbers. I now have Telemundo, Univision, and Mundo Latino, and you can see their numbers here. 713-974-4848 for Telemundo, Univision 713-965-2300, and for Mundo Latino 713-774-5055. At the end of the day, this is just about saying, you know what? I just think we should have a debate on TV. Would you please televise it?
I mean, seriously.
And partner with the Chronicle.
That's right.
Or the other one that does a lot of this work is the Kinder Institute,
That's right.
or the Hobby School. At the end of the day, there's a lot of great, credible organizations that would say, let's do this, not just for CD18, but to get some enthusiasm going and really for America, right?
Seriously. I mean, I really...
Go ahead, Brother Chris, you go.
In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, now is the time. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is too late. Now is the time.
God, I like that. Yesterday is
Now
gone. Tomorrow is too late.
Now
Is the time. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that, Brother Chris. And thank you, and call in again. Because you know what? He's right.
Yeah.
Now is the time. Because my mom always said, if you don't vote, don't complain.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? Because how many people say,
That's
golly,
so
my
true.
benefits of this are gone, or this is gone. How did this happen? The Supreme Court did this. How did that happen? Well, guess what? It happens when you don't
That's
vote.
right. That's right. We have 3 conservatives on the Supreme Court right now because we did not vote in 2016.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. We got another caller already, Isaiah. Who's this next caller? I know there's another caller coming already. Is there a Karen on the line? You got me. Karen, are you there?
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Martin.
Okay, you got me, Gilbert Garcia, a tip from me, with Isaiah Martin, candidate for CD 18, which means Congressional District 18. What do you have, Karen?
Yeah, Mr. Martin, so what is your top legislative priority? If you were elected to Congress, how would you be advancing it in your first 100 days?
Ah, there you go. First 100 days. What are we going to do?
Yeah, so the first 100 days is a couple of things. First off, I suspect that this government shutdown is going to end eventually with a continuing resolution. So effectively what that means is they're going to delay the talks about the next budget for a couple months. So my first 100 days, I expect to vote against any cut to SNAP, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, anything like that. I will vote against that. I will also immediately co-sponsor legislation to wipe out medical debt for those that are in this country. But I got to be honest with you. We've got a Republican that is in the White House, Republican-controlled House, a Republican-controlled Senate. But I think it's going to be very important for me to at least show you where I want to go in the next few years. So I want to co-sponsor a plethora of bills. As a member of Congress, I'm also going to commit to opening up our district offices in every single quadrant of the district. I want to open one up in the Latino community. I want to open one up north. I want to open one on the west side of the district as well. I believe that is long overdue. We want to get that staffed so we can get our casework. That we have a lot of backlog of case log that we haven't been able to get done. I want to try to get that done immediately. And I will also call a meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers to get a status update on the Ike Dike. We approved more than $27 billion for real flood mitigation a couple of years ago in Congress. I want to get a status as to why that has not been able to get pushed through and what we need to do to fix it. I think that's something that we can actually get done. I want to promise you, direct actions that I can actually accomplish. I wish I could wave a magic wand and give you guaranteed health care right now, guaranteed child care, wiping out medical debt, putting trades back in schools. I wish I could do that in 100 days. But with the makeup of Congress, I just got to be honest with you on what I can actually do and actually deliver.
Amen. You know what? That's a very realistic approach, and we appreciate that very much. Karen, do you have a follow-up to that?
No, thank you for explaining that. I think that's a great plan for your first 100 days.
Well, thank you for calling in, and call in anytime. What was that thing you had there, producer? The cup of coffee? Are they on the line? Do I have the cup of coffee show? Bring me that cup of coffee show. Are you there, cup of coffee?
Yes, sir, Mr. Gilbert. How are you today?
Good. You got me, Gilbert Garcia, with a tip from me with Isaiah Martin. And I don't know what you're drinking on your coffee, but you know what? I hope it's a latte and double espresso. I don't even know all those coffees because they're just so complex now. But what do you got for us today? What do you have for Isaiah?
Yeah, I take my coffee straight black.
There you go.
What?
Yeah. I don't mess around with it. But I had a question for you, yes, Mr. Martin. I mean, I know you mentioned that you're going to be a brick wall against, different policies that the Republicans are putting out. But how do you assess this the shutdown? I mean, with a couple of Democrats already siding with the Republicans, why would the Republicans, as you say, come back to negotiate when you see that the trend is already in their favor?
So in other words,
Yeah,
why not just wait a couple more days because those Democrats are cracking?
Well, so here's the thing. That primarily is in the Senate side with Senator John Fetterman, who I have disagreements with as well. They don't have the numbers to advance it through the Senate, and even still, if they come to the House is almost universally united on the Democratic caucus side to not support these massive health care cuts. So the Republicans don't have the votes. They don't really see a momentum towards Democrats flaking because it's only a select few that came out within the first couple of days of having that announcement. What I will also say is that there's a lot of pressure from some of these special interests in town to try to get Democrats to cave. Part of what makes my campaign so special is that we are funded by 55,000 folks giving an average of $19 a person. Those big interest groups, I don't want their money. I don't need their money. I'm focused on the people of the district, and it's why I can be a brick wall. You don't have to worry about me caving when it comes to your health care.
Wow. Very strong words. You got a follow-up there, my friend?
Yeah, but I guess, again, in negotiation, if you already have Democrats, whatever reason, just like you had the Republican person say that people in that district need these health care subsidies, Ms. Green.
Yeah.
They do need the Democrats to cave on the Senate side to get it passed. But I guess my follow-up is, it makes me think, when it comes to the 18th, I think my history tells me the 18th was a gerrymandered district. Am I wrong about that assessment?
Well, the answer is my hunch. If you look at all the districts, they're all gerrymandered for something, for one way or another. And I'll let the candidate talk. But, I think what's different about this is normally all the gerrymandering is somewhat transparent and open. What does that mean? Every 10 years, you do a census, you count all the people, and you redistribute the number of House seats based upon the population. So areas like New York City, which are declining in population, will go down in seats, and areas like Florida and Texas that are growing will go up in seats. And so that is typically the process. And some states have a commission that does it. Some do it in the legislature. At the end of the day, it's known, the politics happens, and then they draw the districts. What's different about this is we're in the middle of the decade. There's not a new census, and there's a real end result that they're essentially working towards, which is 5 more seats for the Republican Party. I'm not saying it's good or bad. At the end of the day, this is very different. Go ahead.
Well, and then also, let's just be honest about it. You're 100% right. This is happening because when Donald Trump was president in 2018, he saw that they had a midterms where 46 Republicans ended up losing their seats. He knows that when he's unpopular, the people throw his Republicans out. And so that is why he is calling states directly, why he called Greg Abbott, demanding, pounding his fist on the table, saying that he needs 5 seats. It's why he called Indiana Governor Mike Braun and said, I need 1 more seat out of Indiana, why he just gerrymandered Emmanuel Cleaver. He made all those calls personally because they're losing in the polls. Like Gilbert said, traditionally this happens after a census. They're doing this now because they understand they're down 9 points in the next midterms, according to Atlas Intel, which was Trump's own pollster, and they realize very soon that they're about to get beat very badly come the midterm. So they're trying to do something to mitigate that.
Yeah, but that makes sense, though, right? That
No.
if you're in leadership and you see, it is an opposing competition.
Well, it's just that it's just
everybody gets the trophy here. Some people win, some people lose.
Well, that's
So-
I totally get that point, and I'm not trying to cut you off. I totally get it, but here's the thing: if you go against normal protocols, which is every 10 years, et cetera, then as soon as there's a change of government in another state, there'll be a whole nother, in other words, it'll be a tit for tat. And at some point, someone's got to stand up and say, let's stop the madness. Let's stick with the process. Because the only people that really suffer are you're carving out neighborhoods that are homogenous, meaning they're similar to others, and you're splitting them up into different congressional seats, and you're confusing the public because they don't even know who their representative is. So I think you're doing a disservice. But I do get your point, which is, and you did not say this, but I'm going to sort of say it for you in my words: to the victor goes the spoils. Which is they're in power and they want to do it and they're going to do it. So I do understand that.
Can I say this really quickly? And that is somewhat my view to this. And that is why some people might not like this, but that's just the reality. I support blue states doing the exact same thing in this context. Because if Donald Trump is going to call Greg Abbott and demand 5 seats, then let me go call Gavin Newsom and say, let's draw 5 Republicans out of their seats. I wish it didn't have to come to this, but that's the reality that we're in. Now we're going to have to go see states like Colorado, New York, which are far bigger than states like Missouri and states like Indiana, do the exact same thing. And Donald Trump will have to learn a very painful lesson that Democrats are not just going to sit on the sidelines while this happens. Like I said, I wish this didn't happen to happen. I will immediately co-sponsor legislation in Congress to mandate a nonpartisan redistricting committee for all 50 states around the country. But if Republicans do not want to support that legislation, which they did not support when Joe Biden was in office, if they do not support that, then Democratic states cannot sit with their hands tied. They have to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. Well, it's almost a little bit too late for that now.
Well, I think that's right. Well,
it's a little bit too late for that kind of idea because the rabbit's out the hat, you
Right.
know, because it's plain in plain sight that the competition demands, you know, a different strategy, right?
well, I certainly can see your point of view, and I appreciate you calling in. I hope you call in again, my friend.
No doubt.
Thank you. We're going to go. Let's take Anise Parker. I see Anise Parker's on the line. Anise Parker, are you there?
Yeah, let me transfer you one moment.
Mayor, are you there? Mayor Parker?
No?
Mayor Anise Parker?
Hello?
Oh, maybe I lost you, Anise.
Okay, let me transfer.
Mayor Parker, if I lost you, please call in again. And that number is 832-570-8075. Do we have her there, producer? Hold on a minute. Kind of like Jeopardy. Do 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 do. Give me some of that. Look at that. Isaiah Martin. That was him. That was him on the bass. Mayor Parker, are you there? Okay, let's just go ahead and keep going. Was there an Ernie there, or is there another? Was it Ernest? I couldn't understand the writing there.
Ernie? Yeah, let me transfer you.
Ernie, are you there?
Here.
Ernie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You got me, Gilbert Garcia, with a tip for me with Isaiah Martin. What do you got for us today?
Well, first of all, I am a precinct chair and election judge. So I have 2 comments. One is that I encourage everyone to be an intelligent, educated voter. We have one last chance tomorrow, as you well know. And what I encourage people to do, because of the 17 proposition, is to study them. One resource that I use is the League of Women Voters. Because they're fair, they're nonpartisan, they present arguments for and arguments against each proposal. So a person gets to read it, study it, and make up their own mind. And working at early voting, I saw too many voters going there thinking there was a candidate to vote for and just maybe haphazardly making choices about the propositions that they weren't informed about. So I'm just encouraging your listeners to be informed before they go in tomorrow, those who still need to go in. And the ones who probably went in and were uninformed, they know what I'm talking about. So hopefully they'll spread the message as well. But we do need an informed, intelligent voting population. And I wanted to share that.
Well, real quick, I'm going to interrupt if you don't mind, but don't leave me. So you're a precinct chair, and what's your precinct?
It's 0598. I'm out in Cypress area.
Okay, wonderful. And so let me ask you this. Do you think, what are you seeing? Are you seeing a lot of enthusiasm? Or are you seeing, that, golly, the polling is low? Not polling, but the polls, early vote is weak. What do you see?
I actually worked early voting in Katy, and there was, at the library, the Maud Marsh Library. And the funny thing, the first week it was kind of slow, steady but slow. Second week, it did pick up significantly. So people are going out, but they're thinking that it's something other than propositions. half the people do know about the proposition. I would say that they came, but it didn't seem like they studied them enough. I did see 10 to 20%, which is a good thing, of people who came in with a cheat sheet. And I'm glad I mentioned that, because if you do the homework, you can write down your decisions on a sheet of paper. You cannot take it electronic. Can't take a picture of it. Can't put them on your phone and go in there. You have to write them down on a sheet of paper. However, if you do get a copy of the League of Women Voters newspaper, you can take that. Any printed material you can take in.
Oh, that's very
no
good.
Electronic.
Let's repeat that. So in other words, Houston, Harris County, you can take in printed material.
That's
so
right.
if there's something that you wrote down some notes or something from an organization like the League of Women Voters, you can take that in. You just cannot take in your phone.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I think that's a very important thing for people to know. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for allowing me to share. And my final comment is, Isaiah, again, I'm not excited. I didn't know anything about you. I like how you responded to Junior, and most of the time I agree with him. And I'm a frustrated Democrat because I understand the frustration with we keep going at this, and sometimes we Democrats, and I'm going to say this, we try to be too nice. That other part, they're not playing nice ball. They're playing hard ball, and we have to play the game that they're playing if we want to win. And that's why we have to go after what's taking place now, because we have to fight to change it. If we don't fight to change it, it will get worse.
Right.
And I just want to say this to you, Isaiah. I don't know you. I don't know what your chances are. I just know that's a crowded field. If you don't win, don't give up.
Amen.
And I was thinking about this, too. If you don't win, there's still at-large positions that you could maybe want to consider that may make it be an easier path for you, because you seem to be able to relate to everybody.
That's probably one of the best compliments you can hear. You can relate to everybody.
Yeah, I like that.
No, that is super good. Thank you for calling in. I sure hope you call in again. And please, let's work those polls tomorrow. I'm going to say it again. The polls are open from 7 to 7. And I'm going to say it again. You could take your information, but it has to be in writing, in paper, if you want to put some notes about the different propositions or candidates. So thank you for calling in, my friend. All right, let's go to Anise Parker. Anise Parker, are you there?
Hey, Gilbert, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I'm sorry about that, Mayor. We missed you for a minute there, but we got you now. And we've been talking a little bit about CD18. We've been talking about, we think that the TV network should have a live debate, because the CD18 is not just for CD18. It's really for America, because we're only 2 or 3 votes short between, change of control or not. And so we showed all their phone numbers. Isaiah Martin is here with me. He talked a lot about how he's raised about $1.6 million and the average amount, et cetera. It's been quite a show. But Mayor Parker, what say you? What can we do?
I was listening.
Good.
And I heard the comments earlier. We got a little technical difficulty calling in, but 2 comments. One, I mean, Isaiah's a dynamic candidate, and he said something important, and that is that if we don't participate, nothing changes.
Yep.
You can't you can't decide, oh, I want to lose weight, maybe I need to exercise. We have to get up off the couch and exercise. You're hungry.
That's right.
You got to get up. You got to get up off the couch and go find something to make something to eat. You have to take some affirmative step to change things.
Right.
But the other thing I wanted to bring up is that, yes, we're talking about the 18th, but any resident of the city of Houston also has a city council race.
Yes.
On the ballot. And there are multiple candidates in that race as well. It's a lot more straightforward. I mean, Greg Abbott is absolutely screwing around with the voters in the 18th and manipulating Democrats and the process. But very straightforward, there's a city council at-large race going on, and we already know when the runoff for that is going to be. And I just want to remind people about that as well.
Mayor Parker, do me a favor. So the election is tomorrow. When is the runoff for the council position?
It is in December, I believe.
It's December, right? Mm-hmm. So that's different than what we think is going to be the runoff for CD18, which is going to be in February.
And normally you would load up all of the runoffs on the same day to save money.
Right.
Yes. My goodness.
Those are your tax dollars being wasted.
Right.
Well, Mayor Parker, before you go, I was also talking about this pay disparity study from the county. And what's very interesting to me, and again, inquiring minds like me just, read these articles, and I already went through all the highlights and the disparity between women of color and white males, et cetera. But then I noticed a small thing, and I'm just going from the Chronicle, where it talks about Commissioner Tom Ramsey cast a dissenting vote. This is to do the framework to look at all this. And then it said Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo was absent from the court. And I'm like, golly, such an important vote, such an important discussion. And maybe she was sick or something, and maybe I'm being unfair. But my goodness, it seems to me this is such an important thing that, and then to top it off, it says here they contacted her, but did not receive a response by time of publication. I know if that were you, come hell or high water, you'd be there, Mayor Parker.
Well, and I honestly don't know why she wasn't there. And I will say that I was as faithful as I could possibly be in terms of, the only council meetings, council meetings are that I missed as a council member or mayor was when I was literally out of town on city business. I never missed a meeting on personal time. But this is an issue that we all ought to care about. And as Democrats too, this should be like high on our agenda. So even if she had to be out of town, I would think that there would have been a prepared statement or something talking about her support for figuring out the real data and making sure that there's a plan to move forward to make sure that everyone should benefit equally from hard work at the county.
Amen to that. Now, Mayor Parker, I want to give you another minute or two because just remind us your website, because I know you're running for county judge, and remind us, I think you're having an event I saw coming up in, I don't know if it's a week or two, as it relates to a thing at your house. Let's talk all about that if you don't mind, just to let people know.
Well, I'm not on the ballot till next year, and there's a really big race tomorrow, and I don't want to step on that. But anybody who wants to find out more about my campaign, it's AniceParker.com. Anice has 2 N's in it, ANNISEPARKER.com. And I'm going to have a volunteer kickoff coming up. And, I believe in being connected to folks. I freely give my, cell phone number to people I meet. It's on my business cards. And I open my home as well, that people ought to be able to, come to me, see me, and engage with me. And I think that's important for any public official to be as accessible as is safe.
Amen. Well, Mayor Parker, thank you for calling in. You're going to be a wonderful county judge.
Well, and thank you. And again, I am neutral in the 18, but we have to have young candidates, not just young voters. And Isaiah is a remarkable candidate and is a dynamite fundraiser and a very dynamic is very dynamic on the stump. So we need. It's not just enough to have dynamic young candidates to convince young people to participate in the political process. Every one of us has to keep drawing the connections to why it matters. And thanks for drawing attention to this issue, Gilbert, and listen to you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you,
That's
Mayor
Mayor
Parker.
You
Thank
guys.
you.
One of the finest mayors in the history of the city of
It's
Houston.
true.
Isaiah, you know what? You have the last word. That's your camera right there. Tell Houston, Harris County, but mainly tell CD18, what do you got? Where can they get information, your website? And remember, everybody, please vote.
Yeah, Houston CD18, look, we have a big race. I need you to go out and vote tomorrow. We've got a president that's raising our prices. We've got our health care that's being cut. We've got a government shutdown because Republicans refuse to do anything about it. I am running to be an aggressive Democrat to fight back against a lot of the stuff we're seeing. I'm going to be aggressive for your health care. I will be everywhere. I'll be in your communities. That's the kind of leadership that we need. So if you want to support our campaign, go out and vote tomorrow. You got from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And if you want to go and sign up to volunteer, you can at isaiahmartin.org, ISAIAHMARTIN.org. Let's stand up to Donald Trump together. I'll get that done for you as your next congressman.
Whew! I tell you what, I'm ready to take the hill. It's Houston, Harris County. This is Gilbert Garcia saying we'll see you next time. All right, Houston, Harris County, this is Gilbert Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer. We're going to now be on television. We will air every Saturday on Comcast 17, AT&T Channel 99, Phonoscope Channel 96, Suddenlink 99, and also hmstv.org. Every new episode every Saturday at 7 p.m. And follow me on social media. See you then.